The value placed on experiences has never been higher among superyacht owners and charterers. As demand grows for adventure, exploration and new discoveries, the South Pacific promises it all. Australia and its neighbours come together to provide yachts with an alternative cruising region brimming with unique encounters and experiences.
Well, I think with the change in mindset, the change in wealth we're seeing with the new generation, people are more focused on experience rather than showing wealth. And I think we'll see a shift to these more exotic locations and the type of cruising, the expedition explorer type of cruising. I think we'll see that as time goes on.
The South Pacific can offer so much more than I feel that any other yachting destination can. The South Pacific definitely offers a new location and a new season for yachting. You don't have to go back to the Caribbean, you don't have to go to the Med. As more and more is being discovered by yachts, or rediscovered by yachts in the South Pacific, we are finding more locations to go diving, more locations to go see whales, more locations to either find great surf, and there's a lot of people that enjoy these. It's becoming more and more accessible thanks to places like Fiji.
The voyage itself down to the South Pacific is a bucket list item for many superyacht captains. Each island along the way offers its own slice of paradise for yachts.
The well-beaten track for a yacht that hasn't been west of the Caribbean before would obviously be to come down through the Panama Canal, which is a destination in itself and can be enjoyed by owners and guests as well as crew. And then a relatively short trip out to the Galapagos Islands is a unique experience. There's nowhere in the world from a marine environment point of view like the Galapagos. And then of course beautiful French Polynesia rolls into Tonga and Fiji, and then you're only 1,000 miles away from New Zealand. An amazing cruising itinerary can be built into delivering a yacht to New Zealand through the Pacific.
Passing through the Panama Canal, yachts will be left enthralled by the endless beauty at their first stop, the islands of Tahiti.
Tahiti is positioned exceptionally well, as if it was planned that Tahiti should have been a super yacht destination.
Everything here is suited to the super yachts and their guests at any time of the year. Every single place here is simply breathtaking and special, as human impact has remained willingly very limited.
Tahiti as a yachting destination offers incredible diversity. It's paradise. Each archipelago has its own paradise, its own unique features.
So beyond the cruising grounds, the islands of Tahiti offer a variety of experiences thanks to its 5 different archipelagos. So each of them has very different geographical features and sceneries, but also very different destination experiences while being in the same country actually. So our islands will offer all guests a well-balanced mix of authenticity and luxury. So high-end resorts, finest restaurants, but also untouched islands, rich culture, and probably the most welcoming and friendly people in the world.
One of the reasons we've stayed so long is the people. Local French Polynesia people are fantastic. It's proven through the history of time of sailors visiting Tahiti and the islands. Made great friends, and it's one of the main reasons we've stayed here.
The islands of Tahiti are also a place for adventurers and the perfect place for a combination of water and land activities. On the one side you have the society islands, for example, with activities such as island safaris, horseback riding and cultural immersion experiences. And on the other side you have the Tuamotu Islands, which are home to a UNESCO biosphere and are world famous for their thrilling drift dives along the natural passes and endless untouched coral gardens.
We are getting more and more requests to go beyond that sort of cruise, if you like, and explore further in the Tuamotus. So many times people have commented how the Tuamotus is some of the best diving I've ever experienced, which is pretty cool. A lot of great surfing, remote scuba diving, you know, places where not many people have been before, and that in itself offers up a special trip to be able to experience that In Tahiti, in French Polynesia, you can have the civility of a European village, but within a day's steaming, you can be in one of the most remote islands on the planet.
Super yachts are increasingly attracted to the privacy and safety of French Polynesia's remote islands.
With what happened globally in the past 2 years, our weaknesses have become assets, and isolation now rhymes with preservation and intimacy. The islands of Tahiti is not a mass destination, and we really want guests to take time to reconnect with themselves and with the world. And the islands of Tahiti really cater to the exclusive nature of superyachts because of their isolation. And this region is perfect to discover by superyachts, where you can enjoy your time with family and friends, really away from the crowds.
I think it's imperative for any foreign yacht and captain arriving in Tahiti to use an agent. They're a wealth of knowledge. They'll have everything prepared for you on your arrival. A lot of the agents will give you a folder as you arrive, and it will have all the information you need to travel throughout French Polynesia.
Heading west from French Polynesia, the island adventure continues. In the heart of the South Pacific, Fiji has long been a revered destination for superyachts, where exploration meets indulgence in a pristine environment.
I think Fiji is unique for superyacht cruising because there are so many groups of islands that offer different cultural experiences, different traditions, and also attractions. And most of the islands that you can go to is only by sea, and therefore cruising is the perfect way to get there. There's so many cruising areas in Fiji. To be honest, it's entirely on what you're after for a cruising destination as a super yacht.
The experience in Fiji is well worth it. It's some of the most amazing cruising I've done. What's unique about Fiji is the pristine environment. The water's beautifully clear. I mean, you can see over 40 meters on a dive. It's beautiful. The natural beauty is quite incredible, both above the water and below it. You've got waterfalls, you've got hiking, you've got rainforests, you've got beautiful atolls, turquoise waters, flat calm anchorages. It's quite special.
North of the island has a more quieter region. If you want to be more relaxed and see what the land has to offer to you, the land, the people, and its culture, you can go through lush rainforest, experience the hot springs, experience the nature. So you have a very pristine environment to explore, and you have untouched beauty. And then you've got the south of the island, which has more the coral capital, the Kandavul, shark feeding, banga diving, and all of those. That has a lot more to do with your underwater environment and your underwater adventure.
Big Fish is a explorer yacht with a diving and fishing focus. So we find that Fiji and the region itself caters to what we offer. As far as the diving, it's world class. The fishing, we're catching so many fish, we've got to throw them back. We literally have to stop fishing. So the fishing's been consistent. The diving's been incredible. It's been mind-blowing. Some of the best diving in the world. So Fiji really kind of hits the mark with what we do, and with explorer and expedition type vessels. This really is the right place to be.
The best way to describe a Fiji experience to someone who hasn't been here before is that everything is raw and exciting. Where Fiji, you can move into an anchorage and it almost looks like there's never been anyone there before, and that makes it really special. The itineraries we can do in Fiji is a lot more diverse than other places, and you get to experience the way that the people live here, where other places we haven't had that before, and that's a big thing to introduce to yachting, and we enjoy it.
Even in such an isolated location, Fiji's marina facilities and services are well prepared to welcome large superyachts.
Port General Marina, being a superyacht marina in Fiji, assists a lot of superyachts through our marina on a regular basis during our season. Some of them to name are Dragonfly, we've had Census, Suri, we've had Big Fish, Dardanella, and there are a number of others that are constantly coming back on a regular basis. The marina offers 20 super yacht berths up to 85 meters of vessel and has a depth of 5 meters at zero tide. Anything that a super yacht would ever need is within the entrance of your dock. And therefore, for a vessel that is looking for a one-stop destination, Port Denara Marina is where you'd find it in Fiji.
The facilities in Fiji has been a big surprise, really. We are in the middle of nowhere where there's not much of a big yachting scene, and it has been overwhelmingly good. It is so nice to be arriving in the middle of nowhere, and they know what you want, they know what you need. They do it with a big smile on their face, and we've enjoyed it, obviously. I believe definitely there's more of a demand for expedition type of yachting. Places like Fiji, or even just throughout the South Pacific, is becoming more and more popular for owners who's interested in an adventure, interested in things that they haven't experienced before, they haven't seen before.
I believe what Fiji has to offer is on everyone's bucket list. Once you're in Fiji, it's almost impossible to pull yourself away from this environment because it's warm, it's welcoming, it's home. Fiji continuously blows everyone's mind. It constantly exceeds expectation, and it constantly delivers to people that they would have never imagined. And I think that's something that's different from a lot of destinations. Fiji genuinely believes that you will find happiness here.
Heading south, New Zealand's prolific sailing culture and dramatic landscapes make it one of the world's great natural playgrounds for super yachts.
New Zealand is small in population, but we have an amazing impact in the super yacht industry. Kiwi hospitality is really special. We're a small nation, we really punch above our weight to go above and beyond what the job is, and when you come down to New Zealand, you will always find a smile, you'll find someone welcoming and ready to go that extra mile to get the job done and to make you feel welcome here. Superyacht New Zealand is a newly established division under the New Zealand Marine Export Group and serves to support the large and really well covered super yacht companies in New Zealand, providing a channel for all of our international promotion. We also act as a main point of channel for information owners, captains, crew, charterers to come down to New Zealand.
Well, there's two things about New Zealand. It's rugby and boating. New Zealand as a boating, fishing, sailing culture, it's just ingrained. The Hauraki Gulf, as simple as being close to Auckland, has a fantastic number of islands and anchorages to visit. Whether you want to be remote at Great Barrier Island or visit Waiheke and go and sample some of the vineyards there. Obviously have the Bay of Islands, called the Bay of Islands for a reason. There's just unfathomable number of islands and anchorages and spots, and you can explore and experience, snorkel, scuba dive, hike. And then, you know, down in the South Island, you've got Nelson and the Marlborough Sounds, and then further south Milford Sound, which is just cruising grounds that everyone should see once in their life.
You've got everything from subtropical to subantarctic in a short distance. If you want to be a little bit more adventurous, the Marlborough Sounds has endless little coves and bays to visit. And then even further south, obviously, Fiordland is the pinnacle of wilderness cruising. It's a different climate. It's sort of a subantarctic climate. You're surrounded by huge mountains and deep fjords. And it's a little bit different to the beaten track of white sandy beaches.
New Zealand's vibrant sailing culture and heritage is showcased in the major regattas held in the country, with the Millennium Cup a particularly enticing draw card for super yachts.
The Millennium Cup is my favourite part of the year from a yachting point of view. For any yacht or captain who's thinking about doing some racing, the Millennium Cup is a fantastic introduction to super yacht racing.
The New Zealand Millennium Cup will be in its 16th year next year. It is held in February in the Bay of Islands in Russell, and it is one of the most unique regattas in the world. We have fantastic sailing conditions in the Bay of Islands. You've got a lot of dolphins and marine wildlife that you will come and see, which you don't see much elsewhere.
It's a fun, relaxed regatta. It's not a huge regatta in terms of numbers, so nobody needs to be intimidated by dozens and dozens of super yachts on the start line at once. The sailing venue is second to none. Russell is steeped in history and is a beautiful place to base the regatta out of. And the sailing in the Bay of Islands is just spectacular. We have deep water marks to go around, spectacular rock formations. There are always dolphins, sometimes whales, and it's just an amazing place to sail.
New Zealanders have a very strong connection to the water. Boating is now the #1 recreational activity for New Zealanders, and that is showcased throughout New Zealand with our community events, our activities on the water, sailing, boating, fishing. It's a very strong Kiwi aspect.
Alongside Australia, New Zealand is a country that boasts not only exceptional cruising grounds, but advanced maritime infrastructure. There are plenty of compelling reasons to explore the Kiwi coastline, while the country's shipyard facilities provide every service to allow yachts to stay and enjoy the region.
The first thing I tell other captains if they're thinking about visiting New Zealand with a super yacht is that it's remote geographically, but it's not remote in terms of the services that you can acquire in New Zealand. We've got everything that's needed to look after super yachts in New Zealand, shore-based, from maintenance work to concierge services and fantastic cruising.
The infrastructure in New Zealand is quite special. We have such a small nation but an incredibly highly skilled workforce because of the passion that New Zealanders have. So when you bring your boat down to New Zealand, you will find world-class refit and maintenance facilities ready to get your boat out.
The South Pacific's major destinations have banded together to establish a thriving alternative cruising region. This collaborative approach to share knowledge through important initiatives such as the Great Southern Route has given captains the confidence to plan a South Pacific adventure.
I think that today most of our partners in the South Pacific understand that we have to work together as a region if we want to provide super yachts the best possible experience. So the islands of Tahiti are the first stopover in the South Pacific, but we also want to make sure that after Tahiti, all these vessels will have a smooth trip to the whole region and maybe consider the South Pacific not only as a seasonal destination, but really as a place they can call home.
The South Pacific destinations have banded together to work cohesively to promote the region, and we believe that the only way that we can promote it is by collaboration. What we are doing is with Australia, New Zealand, Tahiti, Cook Islands, and Papua New Guinea is we are trying to enhance and present our destination with its diverse cultures, with its diverse offerings, and our differentiators, because each one of us has something wonderful to talk about for each one of our destination. We do a lot of work together in order to be able to not compete but be equally a suitable destination like the Mediterranean and the Caribbean.
The South Pacific can offer so much more than I feel that any other yachting destination can.
Having experienced just about all the islands in between Australia and Tahiti, we're here for a reason, and it's paradise.
Everything is ready for super yachts to make the most of this profound yachting paradise. It's time to discover the South Pacific by Superyacht.